Buchaty.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is the Border Patrol Live on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Stephen St. John and Nate Buchaty on this Red Friday, October 11, 2013. Thank you for listening on WHB, and thank you for tuning in on 38 The Spot for our simulcast. We appreciate it. We are celebrating Red Friday. Nate, what are you wearing right now, please?
Got my Uncle Sam T-shirt on. It says, "Come on, you Yanks."
Big soccer match tonight.
Because the United States men's national team is playing right here in our hometown in KCK against Jamaica tonight. So, yeah, support the USA.
And I'm proud to be wearing a Chiefs jersey of one of my favorite players as a kid, the late, great Joe Delaney, who was one of the best running backs that I ever watched when I was a kid. So, my favorite jersey. Now, let's say hello to Kansas head football coach Charlie Weiss as he joins us for his weekly conversation with the Border Patrol. Hello, Coach. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Doing really well. Thank you very much for joining us. It's a road trip for you guys. Tomorrow you'll be playing at TCU, 11 a.m. kickoff. Based on what you've seen from TCU so far on film, what do you think of the opponent?
Well, the thing about TCU, which is different than most of the teams we play against, is they just play old-fashioned football. You know, they try to just win the game at the line of scrimmage. You know, on defense, they line up in one defense the whole time and one coverage the whole time and just say, we're going to beat you up and we're better than you. And on offense, you know, they're one of those, they huddle most of the time. They run the ball as much as they throw the ball. It's a lot different than most of the teams today where they want to just spread it out and throw it on every down.
Do you have any preference either way about the an 11 a.m. kickoff?
Well, I mean, I think for the fans, the later in the day, the better. I mean, for coaches, the earlier in the day, the better. And, you know, for players, it's probably somewhere in between. You know, from a coach's standpoint, you know, there's nothing worse than sitting around a hotel all day waiting for a late game. For the fan standpoint, you know, I think that 11 o'clock in the morning doesn't really give them much time to get there, get everyone up, get there, get a tailgate set up. So, you know, usually it's a little bit of a late arriving crowd, so that at 11 o'clock, you know, the crowd's still pouring in when you're already kicking off.
All right, Coach, you spent some time this week on Tuesday talking about you know, the way you handle the team after a game like the Texas Tech game and the way things fell in that game. How much of your job this week has been like a psychologist or a psychiatrist or whatever, and how much of that part of your job have you had to do this week to maybe build the team back up and get them ready for this game?
Well, it's actually a little bit easier to do it after last week's game than, well, let me give you a comparison to like West Virginia last year, the last game of the year. In West Virginia, last game of the year, we got clocked from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. I mean, when the game started and the game ended, it was West Virginia all the way. That wasn't the case last week. You know, last week the game started off. You know, you got the game plans on both sides of the ball. Everything's going along fine. First quarter ends, you're up 10-0. You hadn't played perfect, okay, but you're up 10-0 because everything's going as planned. And then the second quarter and third quarter it went from bad to worse. So because you have evidence for them to watch, you can show them, here's what you were doing, here's what you ended up doing. You know, here's where the breakdowns were. This is why it went from this score to that score based off of what you did. So because there was enough evidence on the tape last week to be able to show them, hey, fellas, it wasn't like this from the start of the game to the end of the game, you just got whooped. Here's what you did in the second quarter. Here's what you did in the third quarter. And here's the reason why the score ended up the way it did.
And I know, Coach, you said after the game that you were going to go back and watch and see who was still fighting, who was still playing hard late in the game. And, you know, obviously when the stadium's three-quarters empty by the end of the game and, there's backups in the game and all that, things started to look a little sloppy to the naked eye. When you went back and watched, were you satisfied that your team continued to fight, all the way through the end of the game?
Well, I was more satisfied with the defense than I was with the offense, despite the score, Nate. I would think that what we really did is put the defense at a disadvantage almost the whole game. I mean, almost the whole game, every time they got the ball, they were starting. Every time Texas Tech got the ball, they were starting in plus territory. And, when you're playing on a short field the whole day, scores can blow up in a hurry because, all it takes is a first down, and all of a sudden you're in a scoring zone. And there were a couple times, three or four times where they get the ball inside the 20-yard line. So, I mean, the score got carried away, a little bit tainted. But at the end of the day, it wasn't because the defense wasn't playing hard. I felt that the bigger breakdown was, the bigger breakdowns were on the offense. I mean, we had 7 penalties on offense. 6 of them were line of scrimmage penalties. Okay, you're playing at home. You shouldn't have a line of scrimmage penalty. You shouldn't have a false start at home. It's one thing if you're on the road and you can't hear and you have a couple in the game because the noise is so loud, but you shouldn't have any at home. On top of that, you turn the ball over 4 times. Okay, you're asking for a game to get carried away like it did last week.
Coach, as you well know, fans and media can sometimes oversimplify things when they try to analyze a game. And, a lot of people said this week that the turning point was the fake punt attempt when the score was tied at 10. And fans or media will chalk it up to, well, if that didn't happen, you're looking at a different outcome, or at least not such a lopsided score. Is that the wrong assessment to make?
Well, I look at the biggest play of the game being the interception on the first play of the second half. I mean, it's a 10-point game now. It wasn't like we're down by 30 points. You're down by 10 points. I mean, you're down less than 2 touchdowns. We come in at halftime and say, okay, we're going to be very conservative. We're going to throw short passes, and we throw a shallow cross to Tony. The ball's high, goes off his hands, deflected. They intercept it. They're down on the 4-yard line. Now, what was a 2-score game after a kickoff? After a kickoff, 1 play on offense and one play on defense, now you went from a 2-score game to a 3-score game. To me, that was the biggest play in the game.
We're visiting with head coach Charlie Weiss. And, Coach, when it comes to building up players after a tough game like that, I'm wondering if, and we've seen it. I mean, heck, we saw it with the Texans quarterback Matt Schaub. Apparently fans coming to his house and giving him a hard time. Has Trevor taken it hard, everything that happened with that fake punt afterwards? Did you have to build him up after all that happened?
No, I got him right when it happened, and I got him after the game, too. And the next day when he walked in. He walked in, he was sitting there with that blank stare on his face. I looked at him and said, look it. I'm going to show you about 30 or 40 plays that were the difference in the game. So was he down? Yeah, he was down. But he's a kicker. They bounce back. They're resilient. He was in the tank after that play. But like I said to him, was it a key play in the game? Yes. Was it? But there were several key plays in the game that had contributed to what ended up happening in the game.
I think fans are probably curious too, Coach, not just when it comes to special teams or the punter, but in terms of just players in general. How much autonomy do they have to make certain decisions through the course of a game? And is that consistent across the board from coach to coach that, hey, when you're out there on the field, you have the right to make this decision?
No, there's only certain players in certain situations. Okay, that, it isn't like every week you go into a game and a guy has a right to do this or right to do that. Even at the quarterback position, depending on the experience level of your quarterback and what the opponent's doing on defense, you might give him more freedom to do some things than if the quarterback is less experienced or they're simplified on defense. So, it all depends on the player and who you're going against and what they're doing before you give somebody the freedom to go ahead and go from one thing to something else.
We're visiting with KU head coach Charlie Weiss. Coach, back to this TCU game. I know that you already discussed this earlier in the week about the status of Devontae Fields, who was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year as a freshman last year. We've since learned out that he's out for the season. But from what I understand, that in your mind doesn't really make a whole lot of a difference when it comes to how good their defense is.
We weren't counting on him playing, and if he did play, you'd want to go right at him because he was obviously hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could watch him play. He was a shell of his former self. So, you know, you're actually were hoping that he did play, to be perfectly honest with you, because when they were out there, a lot of the times he was out there, he wasn't even pass rushing because he didn't have any, you know, didn't have any push. You know, so you were getting ready for the other guys. You weren't counting on him playing anyway.
Coach, it was a very scary situation for Tony Pearson, and then fortunately he was able to get up, and I think most fans' fears were alleviated. But it's a very touchy situation now in football with concussions, both in college and the NFL. How do you handle something like that as a program, as opposed to maybe how it was handled years ago, either in the NFL or in college?
Well, first of all football and all levels of football now, people are very, very conservative and very slow to, you know, have a player go back in that bangs his head around. You know, there's just been too much, you know, too many things that have matriculated and too much knowledge you have now that you didn't have in the olden days. Man, I can remember, years and years and years ago, you know, a player coming off dinged, and you say, God, I don't remember the last play, and about 2 plays later, they're back in the game. You know, those things don't happen anymore. You know, in Tony's case, he didn't even hit his head. You know, everyone thought when he was laying there and he hit his head, he didn't even hit his head. You know, he just landed hard, and it was kind of like a whiplash effect, where the residual. You know, he had headaches and a sore neck, but fortunately, his MRI and everything came back. He was clear. You know, we'll be slow to put Tony in. Whenever Tony's ready to go, we'll put Tony in. But a lot of it's going to be now. There's a couple things you do. One, you take a cognitive test, which, you know, lets you know if his head's cleared and everything. And then two, you have to go by, you know, are they symptomatic? And in his case, he's passed the cognitive test, but he's definitely symptomatic. So we'll be slow to put Tony in. Obviously, we'll miss Tony. He's one of our best players. Okay, but at the same time, you always have to err on the side of caution.
Coach, I wanted to get your opinion on something dealing with concussions, because, of course, your son played at St. Pius. I have a son that played at St. Pius, and we all know what a great thing that could be for a kid as far as character building and everything. Camaraderie, football is awesome for a lot of kids. But with this legal denial documentary that was aired this week, the debates come up, and it was said that kids shouldn't play tackle football before they're 14 years old. Do you have any opinion as a parent and as a football coach when the proper time is to allow your son to start playing tackle football?
No, I really don't, because I know if it was up to my wife, he would have never played.
Right.
You know, so I really don't have an opinion, because I really don't have a knowledge base on that. What I do know that in my kid's case, and this is the truth, you know, my kid always wanted to be a coach. And I was having dinner back in South Bend years ago with Gail Sayers and his wife, and Gail Sayers told the advice he gave my son was that if you want to get into coaching, you should go play so that you have a better understanding how the players think. And that's really the reason why my kid went and played. I mean, so you think about it, you know, the KU connection. Here I am in South Bend, you know, and Gail Sayers has given my kid advice on, you know, go play to be a part of this right here, so that when you go to coach, you know how players think. As far as the age that they should play tackle football, you know, I'm certainly not the one to ask on that, because, you know, I really would have no clue.
Coach, the to go back to the injury that Tony suffered, it I believe was we think that he landed on that runway strip of track that for those that don't know the field, you know, there's still KU's one of only 2 programs left in college football, and about to be the only one left that has a track around the field still, and it has those runway tracks where you do long jump and the pole vault and all that, and I think that he landed on that hard surface. Is that one more reason to – I know that Shane Zinger's been pushing to try to get rid of that thing and kind of remodel the stadium a little bit. In your mind, is that one more reason to put in the column of why this needs to happen?
Well, first of all, you're right. That's where he did land. But, you know, but but second of all, that track won't be there much longer. I mean, the bottom line, Nate, is that as soon as Rock Chalk Park's got that track up and running, and we know that our track team is accommodated, and that the KU relays are accommodated, I don't think you're going to have to worry about that track being there. I think that right now we have to make sure that our track team and the KU relays are covered for this year, and I think that in the very near future that won't be an issue anymore.
Coach, thanks so much for the time, and have a safe trip down to Fort Worth, Texas. I'll see you down there.
All right, take care. Have a good day.
That's Kansas head coach Charlie Weiss joins us every Friday right here on the Border Patrol. Up next, we've got a real live. Is he live? A real
we always have to
live
check on that.
TV star. A gentleman that's been doing television in this town for 47 years. This will be his 48th year in broadcasting in Kansas City. Unbelievable that the longevity and the consistency that he's offered to this wonderful market we call Kansas City. Up next, Frank Boal in studio. All right. 48 years, baby, and still going strong. Wow. Right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB and 38 The Spot.
You're listening to the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
On the next Family Guy.
It's your 18th birthday, Meg. That's a very important milestone in a young woman's life.
A girl looking for something to love. A man up for anything.
I know what's going on in her head. It's just a game.
And a father with nothing to lose.
Oh, God, Peter.
Did you have sex with my daughter?
Peter, trust me, it's not happening.
Good.
Yeah, she's really making me work for it.
Next Family Guy. Viewer discretion advised.
Watch tonight at 6 on 38 The Spot.
Now that I have Assurance, I can call her doctor.
Introducing free talk and text from Assurance Wireless in your area. It's the best value in calling plans among major Lifeline assistance programs. Assurance Wireless offers eligible households a free phone, 250 free voice minutes, and 250 free texts each month.
Now that I have Assurance, I can talk and text with no worries.
With free talk and text, you get a free phone, nationwide coverage, and these calling features. It's a great way to connect to more.
Now that we have Assurance, we can keep in touch with our grandchildren.
You may qualify if you're on Medicaid, food stamps, or certain other public assistance programs.
It's a great value.
Call now to see if you qualify for free talk and text, a free phone, 250 free voice minutes, and 250 free texts each month with no annual contract.
Call 1-800-833-8333 or visit AssuranceWireless.com. That's 1-800-833-8333. 1-800-833-8333. Call today.
National American University presents one. Be a full-time student 1 day a week, only 1 day or 1 night, even Saturday.
1 day, 1 night, Saturday's all right. Online's just fine. Nighttime, anytime. Get your degree. Set yourself free. National American University.
Be a full-time student 1 day a week at National American University.
Call 866-628-1288. Call Brown and Crouppen right now at 777-7777.
Together, we make the first night of football every week, which means we make the first.
Go, Pat, go!
And the first. The first. And of course, the first.
Touchdown!
Together, we make the first night of football every week. Together, we make football.
Can I watch cartoons?
Oh, why don't you go outside and play, Oh?
But there's a storm.
Sorry, buddy. Uverse has their limits. Mom's recording 2 shows, Grandpa's watching the news, and I gotta watch the end of this. And that's the limit. I'll be out right after the game.
With Time Warner Cable, you can watch more than 4 shows at the same time.
If you reached your limit, it's time to rethink Uverse. Call 1-855-WANT-TWC to get TV, internet, and phone for as little as $79.99 a month. Ask how you can upgrade and get a $300 Visa reward card. Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better.
I really like to set up a meeting between your father and the Tic Tac.
Arthur Spooner. That's me.
Doug and Carrie insult Arthur.
It just kept going on and on. It was like being trapped in the car with a demented old circus monkey.
Now Dad's dining solo.
Oh, he's really mad at us.
Got to eat out here with the other demented circus monkey.
Next, King of Queens.
Watch today at 5 on 38th The Spot for comedy. Unrighteous decade. 2 tripped-out parents.
Do you think I'm smart?
Oh, is that what we're going to do today? We're going to fight?
6 far-out friends. 1 million groovy laughs.
That's just good TV.
Watch That 70s Show weeknights at 8 on 38th The Spot. Hey, who turned this off? I almost tripped over Union Station. 38th The Spot.
Now, see, why wouldn't you play a golden oldie? Come on, play something that
he doesn't want to put the people back to sleep.
This gentleman can really sink his teeth into.
Come on.
Hello, Frank Boal.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you today?
Introduce yourself professionally.
I am Francis Reed Boal.
Who do you represent? So this is your
Sports Radio 810 WHB and KSHB TV and 38 The Spot.
Right.
Are you
That's
nervous?
What I'm talking about.
You ever been on TV before?
My palms are.
Have you ever been on one of your television stations and the radio station at the same time? Have you ever?
You know what? That's good. I don't believe so. No. I mean, I've been on radio where guys will come in and shoot it and do all that stuff, but then take it back and edit it. Never. No, first time.
I know you used to be on.
Yeah, you're giving me a first. How about that? That's a good deal.
Wow.
This is like a three-way. You're here.
Huh?
You're on the 38 The Spot.
That's right. 38 The Spot radio.
It's almost like
difficult.
You're
Difficult thing in a three-way is to keep all parties satisfied.
There you are.
You got to keep the radio listeners satisfied.
Right. Can you?
And you got to keep
TV.
TV
Absolutely.
Hey, this isn't
you guys.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You're used to doing your NBC. This isn't little old NBC here. We're on 38 The Spot.
This is big time,
all right?
brother.
Chiefs and Raiders, Raider Week. You've seen it all.
Oh,
You've been here for all of them.
Almost.
Literally every one of them.
Yeah. That's not funny.
The Chiefs have not beaten the Raiders at Arrowhead since 2006.
It will get done this week.
So the streak will end on
This will be a lot
Sunday.
closer than everybody would like it to be, but they'll win again.
Because Terrell Pryor's better than most everyone thought he'd be.
He's got the ability to make plays with his legs and escapability. Plus, being in front of a big crowd or something, it's not anything unusual for this kid.
Right.
This kid has played in front of loud, raucous crowds.
So do you think with Terrell Pryor, do you think he's going to have a big day on Sunday against the Chiefs defense?
I don't think he'll have a big day. I just think he's going to have the ability to keep the game close.
It makes you nervous a little bit.
Yeah, and you know what? They take care of the football, too. Now, everybody Chiefs have played has tried to take care of the football and hasn't been able to. But they have a tendency to take care of the football. Defense are pretty solid. That's pretty solid defense. So it's going to be a very interesting football game. I just think the Chiefs get it done this week.
Should we play Bob Sutton, the defensive coordinator, who he's been up to every challenge so far. Bob Sutton talks a little bit about the game planning for Raiders quarterback Terrell Pryor.
Anytime you add that other dimension, where you can extend the play, escape out of the pocket, and the thing that he's doing a great job of is he's escaping and extending the play to throw the ball. That's where he's making a lot of plays, and obviously he can take it and run upfield any moment he desires to run because he's one of these elite speed guys. I mean, he's a long strider, and you don't appreciate really how fast he's running till he goes by you, and then you realize, oh, that's the trouble, So, but it's a definite concern, and I think everybody that plays him, is thinking the same thing. We got to find a way to keep this guy in the pocket, but rush him. You don't want anybody just standing back there a long time. So, that's a real challenge to our up front guys, and it's going to be at some point a challenge for the back end guys.
Nate, do you think that Frank is a long strider?
No. Not
Short
Frank.
and choppy.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Short and choppy, you bet.
Just like Garrett Boal.
Shorter and choppier these days. KC, 9-point favorite. They've only covered once. Last 14 against the Raiders.
Here's what I like.
One time. Of course, remember now, 6 of those at Arrowhead have been losses. But they've only covered one.
I don't like any of those numbers.
I know you don't. I'm just trying to tell you, this is going to be a lot closer than you think.
I'd like to hear from Nate now.
I think that this is what I like about the way the Chiefs defense measures up against this challenge. They can get to the quarterback with a 4-man rush. And one of the things that you heard there from Bob Sutton was, we want to rush the quarterback. It's not, we don't just want to keep him in the pocket and make him stand there so he's got all day to find somebody that's open and throw it. But at the same time, we've got to contain him while rushing the passer. It's a lot easier to do that if you can get to the quarterback with a 4-man rush and leave a linebacker there to spy on him.
And maybe if you got a dominant interior defensive lineman with that push up the middle that can collapse the pocket. Who's that?
Dontari Poe. But
all-pro Dontari Poe.
We got an issue. Justin Houston. A little worried
cleared
here.
To practice yesterday.
And now he's under concussion protocol, and now it's out of the coach's hands.
Mm-hmm.
He
Frank
does
Zombo
believe
would step in.
He does believe he's going to play.
Yeah.
But Frank Zombo would have to step in, and that is, I'd rather have God bless Frank Zombo, but I'd rather have Justin Houston.
Oh, really?
It would be a huge loss.
Yes.
That'd be a big loss.
Well, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah,
but I still think they could overcome that loss and win the game. Again, the most we can argue this because it's good to have that argument because there are several candidates, but I think the most important defensive player right now is Dontari Poe.
I think the biggest thing, too, is Houston said after practice today, I'm going to play, or it looks like I'm going to play. At least he believes he's going to play. You never heard that out of Eric Fisher. Never heard that out of anybody else. They put on a concussion syndrome. And the Chiefs are one of those teams, at least it appears to me, number one, they're very upfront about injuries, which just blows me away. It just...
What do you think of the
unbelievable.
having a press conference about a surgery that took place the day before?
Incredible. Just incredible. But they're also one of the teams that really, they err on the side of caution. It appears they err.
Will Carroll told us that yesterday. Our injury expert said the Chiefs are one of the 5 most cautious teams when it comes to that, going above and beyond, which is great news to hear. And you know what? Look, you could be tempted, very tempted, to try to push the envelope on a guy like this because of how important he is to the team and how important the game is. But... I'm glad that they're taking the necessary precautions with him. You would sure think that if he's cleared to practice on Thursday, that he'll be allowed to play on Sunday, but
he was limited. He was limited. So.
Yeah.
The other thing is the Fasano injury.
Just keeps dragging on.
Well, the deal is it's moved from his ankle to his knee. I'm not sure how that's happened since he's been.
That scares me.
Since he's been injured, started his ankle, he hasn't played. Now it's moved to his knee. So they're Sean McGrath's doing a great job, and Kevin Brock's got to fill in and do whatever he's got to do, but they are very, very thin at that position. That position is hugely important for their offense.
But again, think about John Dorsey and the scouting department.
Oh, yeah.
And the job they did, because that was a debate. What is that a signal of? What does that say that the Chiefs went out and claimed 7 players after they had gotten down to their 53-man roster? The roster's not very good. The depth isn't very good. They don't trust the roster. What it said to me now, and we see it, that this scouting department and this general manager identified talented players that they thought would be on the bubble, and they're ready to pounce on them. Marcus Cooper comes in, and he helps absorb the loss of Brandon Flowers against the Giants and helps win the game against the Titans. You've had Sean McGrath step in. It would just think if they didn't claim Sean McGrath, where would they be right now? In desperate times when they lost Moriarty, they lost Kelsey, they lost Fasano, he's been able to step up and play very well. Chad Hall is starting to fill into his role. There have been tremendous returns on those waiver claims, and that's saying something for John Dorsey. That cannot be overlooked. It's helped him win games.
Yeah, it is, but that is also the residual effect of them having the number 1 draft choice in the NFL, which, this isn't good, folks. Hopefully, we pray it never happens again, that they have the first draft choice. Okay?
That excites you about their ability to evaluate talent, even moving forward. They were able to evaluate that talent and claim those guys that have come in and played very well, that fit the system. I mean, Marcus Cooper looks like a player. And I'm not just talking about filling in for injury. They might have found something that's going to help them for the next several seasons, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, look, Marcus Cooper looks like a steal. I mean, he looks like an absolute steal.
Like he stole that football from Nate Washington against Tennessee. That's the kind of steal I'm talking about. We're live on Sports Radio 810 WHB and 38 The Spot. Back after this with more Frank Boal because he's a golden oldie.
You're listening to the Border Patrol. The Border Patrol. The Border Patrol. On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
When Homer writes a kid's book.
The Troll Twins of Underbridge Academy.
But the publisher has some notes.
Where's the trolls? If they had been in charge of the Sistine Chapel, the whole thing would be vampires.
The Simpsons.
Watch tonight at 6:30 on 38 The Spot.
You can start a career in healthcare in just 9 short months.
Seriously? Just 9 months? I'd love working in healthcare. Did you say 9 months?
Concord Career College can prepare you for some of today's most in-demand careers in as little as 9 months.
9 months is fast for a whole new career. I don't want to wait 4 years for a new career.
Don't wait. Pick up the phone and call. Your 9 months begins now.
Call 877-669-2323. That's 877-669-2323.
The education that I received, I can go anywhere. You know, I can work with a general dentist, I can work in pediatrics, I can work with a periodontist, you know, surgeons. Anywhere you go, you're going to be prepared. I love this career. I love my job. I look forward to getting up every day and coming in. What I wanted to accomplish in life, I feel like I have, definitely.
Call Concord at 888-454-4421.
Homerooms Furniture at 72nd and State Avenue is Kansas City's most beautiful furniture store and features quality name brand furniture at simply the lowest prices anywhere. Like these 7-piece living room packages. You pick the sofa and love seat and from your choice of 11 different 3-piece table sets and 5 different lamp pairs. 7-piece packages $9.99, $7.99, as low as $5.99. Quality furniture at the lowest prices anywhere. Homerooms Furniture, 72nd and State Avenue in Kansas City, Kansas.
Storm Shield versus Weather Radio. Both keep you safe, but only one has radar, school closings, and live video stream from Kansas City's weather leader. Plus, there's this. 41 Action Weather Storm Shield for iPhone and Android. Download at kshb.com/mobile.
The day is never long enough, and there's too much to do. House calls, how to look good. Hey, wait, slow down. Watch Cozy TV. It's the easiest decision you'll make all day.
You're the problem, you know that. You're the real problem. See, you're the machine I have to take with me wherever I go. You know, you used to be so... Now you're just like some awful machine, and I can't stand looking at you like that.
So watch something else. Magnum, 6 Million, whatever. The Bionic Woman. Tuesdays on Cozy TV.
Why is this happening to me?
All the drama.
Passing Creed? Like a C? Why don't I just get pregnant at a bus station?
All the passion.
What about babies?
What about them?
How many?
Like it's up to me.
All the action.
Look, Tiny Riot here.
We de-whimsified ourselves.
Jeff is in grave danger.
I was wondering how long it would take for things to get back to normal. Let's burn this mother down!
There are people who say, I don't get it. To which I say, you weren't there.
Experience the entertainment event of the year.
Who wants to dance?
Watch weeknights at 9 and 9:30 on 38 The Spot.
Right this minute, videos first.
1,800 miles, 110 days.
More men have been on the moon than have completed this journey.
On the next, Right This Minute.
Watch tonight at 7 on 38 The Spot.
Good morning, Kansas City. I'm Aaron Swartz with your bottom of the hour update. It's a big football weekend in Kansas City, and it all starts tomorrow at 11 a.m. as the Missouri Tigers hit the road to take on the Georgia Bulldogs. That game on ESPN. The Bulldogs are without 4 of their starters going into the game. Also at 11, Kansas travels to TCU. You can see that game on Fox Sports 1. And K-State looks to slow down Baylor at 2:30 on Sports Radio 810 WHB and Fox. The Chiefs have embraced Raider Week, and Andy Reid will get his first taste of the rivalry at noon Sunday. Anthony Fasano and Kendrick Lewis, the big names, held out of practice yesterday. The Metcalf Bank Chiefs pregame show comes your way at 9 a.m. on Sunday. And the Detroit Tigers are heading to the ALCS after beating the Oakland A's last night 3-0. You can hear the Dodgers and Cardinals on 102.9 tonight at 7:30. I'm Aaron Swartz with your bottom of the hour update.
Finally, Jake Gutierrez.
No, that song's for you.
It is for me because I love Elvis, and I will sing it.
Yes, you do.
I'm not going to sing this one because I don't want to ruin it. I'm in love. I'm all shook up. Thank you very much. This is the Border Patrol live on Sports Radio 810 WHB and 38 The Spot. I had my Joe Delaney jersey on it again. I get very angry at someone when I posted a picture on Facebook. Email, who's number 37? Number 37 is one of the greatest running backs ever to suit him up for the Kansas City Chiefs, and one of my favorite players when I was a kid, and I still remember the day that I found out he had passed away. It was just a horrible, horrible memory from my childhood, but he was one of my favorite players, and so this was my cousin Tony's jersey, and when he passed away, his son gave it to me. Show it up here now. Oh, there you go. And so I always like to represent. I don't always wear a jersey, but when I do, I like it to mean something, and Joe Delaney, one of my favorites of all time, so I'm proud to wear number 37, a Joe Delaney jersey whenever I go out there.
I remember when I got that call from the Sheriff's Department at Parish where he died that night. We're on after news, yep.
Got to respect the past.
And, too young children, and what he went and did, and didn't know how to swim, and jumped in there anyway without any regard for himself. Just
a hero.
Save those kids.
And people forget, just a fabulous running back.
Oh, he was awesome. He was so fast.
Right.
Mm-hmm. He was so fast.
It would have been wonderful to see what he would have done for his career. But never forget Joe Delaney, because he was a true hero. And so I know it's Red Friday, but then I got to represent because Mizzou at Georgia.
Hey, folks, I know if you're watching us and not just listening to us, they both changed jerseys in a commercial break.
The Border Patrol.
There you go.
Because that's a huge game, Frank Boal.
It's big. The line keeps coming down. The line keeps coming down. 4 starters out for Georgia. You're a 7.5-point dog. You start out like a 10.5-point dog.
M-I-Z.
Slipping down to ZOU.
Yeah.
Go get them.
That's right.
It's going to be a great game. Huge game. Big game. One of the biggest in Missouri. Well, it's certainly one of the biggest in Pinkel's history.
Okay, Frank.
One of them.
You want to hear from Chase Daniel? I heard what you just said. I can hear you, so let's do it. I went out to Arrowhead Stadium to get some more information on Chiefs and Raiders. Naturally, I thought I'd ask Chase Daniel about Mizzou's 5-0 start and James Franklin's improvement this season.
It's been awesome, for them to win on the road at Indiana, win on the road at Vanderbilt, and to win games they're supposed to win, and they're favored to win, and to play the way they have so far is been encouraging. We got a great test coming up against Georgia, at Georgia, between the hedges. Everyone knows how hard it is to play there. Georgia's a little banged up, but I think that, it should be a good game.
Knowing this offense, when you watch what they've done so far, why is Franklin playing so well? What is he doing that he was unable to do last year? Obviously, he's healthy, but it just seems like he's a different guy that he's been in a Missouri uniform.
Well, he's just being efficient with the football. He's getting the ball to their playmakers' hands and getting it out of his hands quickly, not taking a whole bunch of sacks. Doesn't have a whole bunch of turnovers. He's making the right reads, the right throws at the right time, and I think a lot of that has to do with him being healthy, him trusting his body, him trusting his arm, and really going out there and being a leader that a lot of fans and a lot of guys wanted him to be the entire time. So I couldn't be more proud of him, man. He's doing awesome.
Final score between Missouri and Georgia, 11 a.m. tomorrow on ESPN.
Oh, boy, that's a good question.
Yeah,
38-35. Who? Missouri.
I like the way you talk.
You like the way I think, don't you?
You know some weird background noise in that
And the
interview?
show's over. Bye, everyone. End of the show.
What was Chase allegedly doing during that interview?
Unwrapping and then chewing gum.
Hey, he's very
Smart
efficient.
mouth.
He can multitask.
Yeah.
So, let it go.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll believe that, I guess. Sure, that's what he was doing.
Yeah,
I also
right.
talked to Ryan Succop, very fine kicker.
Tell you what, he was clutch this
Weapon.
past weekend. He's been great this whole season.
He's been great.
Making Jake Gutierrez eat his words, eat his hat. He said, I'll eat my hat if he keeps kicking field goals like this.
Look at Jake's hat that he's going to have to eat because you were wrong about Ryan Succop.
You like this? Go USA.
Uncle Sam right there.
Yep.
You love it, don't you?
And you know what? I couldn't have been more wrong about Ryan Succop. I was a huge critic of his last year, but I think the change of the coaching and special teams
Absolutely.
with Dave Tobe,
yep,
I think that has a lot to do with it,
You look
honestly.
like an All-American Chiefs fan is what you are right now.
I am.
Can we hear from Ryan Succop? He talks about closing the game out on Sunday, which was, it seemed like he went out there to make a couple of game-winning kicks. Remember when it was a 3-point game? All right, he makes this one, makes it 6. The game's going to be over. And then
Now
he comes out and makes it 9 as the game's going to be. It was windy, it was rainy.
Yep.
Wasn't the best conditions, but he was a weapon. He's been a weapon on kickoffs. So he talks about that game Sunday and also playing for special teams coordinator Dave Tobe.
It's exactly what you said, and that's exactly kind of my mentality was, when we drove down, we were up by 3, and with the way our defense is playing, I was treating like, hey, if we can get up, 6 points here, we feel really good about our chances to win the game. And then we got the pick, and then I'm going, okay, now we can really put this thing away. And fortunately, we were able to do that. And man, it was just a great team win. It was exciting to see how it came together, and I was just really excited about how we all fought back and stuck together.
Dustin and Dexter raved about Dave Tope and just what he's brought as far as enthusiasm. And not that the past special teams coaches didn't pay a lot of attention to the details, but it seems like there's even more of an emphasis, and Andy Reid has allowed that. That's why Tope came here. What's it been like to have him overseeing the special teams?
Well, yeah, I mean, you said it. Obviously, Dave's a great coach, and Dave's had a lot of success in this league, and he's been able to bring what he did in Chicago and other places, and he's been able to implement it here. And I think guys are really bought in. I think that's one of the big things. You see guys really buying into what he's coaching and what he's doing. And every time we go out there, whether it's a punt return, a kick return, you can just tell our guys are like, man, we can break this thing, and we can win the game right here on this play. And that's the way guys are approaching it, and it's really exciting to see, and hopefully it'll continue.
We'll play the clip in the 9 o'clock hour, but very pleased that Ryan Succop told me he will be rooting heavily for Missouri on Saturday as a South Carolina man because Georgia's already beaten South Carolina. So he's very fired up for Missouri. Everyone is, Frank, even Nate.
That's right. And then all of a sudden, South Carolina has to come to Faroe Field.
He's going to go to the
eventually.
Game. He said,
he will.
If it's a morning or afternoon game, if it's a night game, he can't go. They have to be at the team hotel at like 6 or 7 o'clock. So if it's an 11 a.m. game, he's going to go down there. Cool. And so I mean, that'd be a lot of fun. That's an added plus for these guys that played in the SEC. Now they get a chance to go right down I-70 and see their schools hopefully get beat by Missouri. Yeah.
Big.
Okay, now you've got Nate with his KU shirt on. KU at TCU. You picking the upset here?
No. They're just too. I think they're way too physical. Okay. Watch the film. They just beat you up.
It seems like he didn't even consider it.
They just
KU's a massive underdog.
Massive point spread. What are we talking about here?
25, something like that?
24.5.
All right. Frank the Greek, do you take the points? What are you doing here?
I'd stay away from that one. Okay. If I'm going to Vegas. 24.5 is a lot of points, but it's going to be close to that cover.
K-State upsets Baylor.
No.
K-State holds Baylor under 50.
I'll go with that.
They haven't been held under 50 at halftime.
I know they haven't.
Nate Bukaty, K-State holds Baylor under 50.
Okay, come on.
Yeah.
Jake Gutierrez.
I think they'll score in the 40s.
High 40s.
Jake just put his face in his hands. Jake, please, so we can see how you're agonizing over this.
Uncle Sam, Uncle Jake.
I don't have a good feeling. Kansas offense has to leave the defense off the field, but I don't think they can do that. I think the defense is going to be on the field too long.
Did you just call them Kansas? Kansas State.
Oh.
Baylor, 50.
He's back there doing television stuff.
No, he's back there
Leave him alone.
about Kansas.
He's changing cameras.
First of all, does Kansas come within 25 of TCU? We'll go back to that for you. That's fine.
No.
Okay. Aaron Swartz, does Kansas come within 25 of TCU?
No, that's going to be like 30-something to 3.
Okay.
Wow. 3?
Wow. That's fine. I mean, hey, it's his prediction.
Yeah.
Okay, the original question, K-State, do they hold Baylor under 50? Unless, of course, you think K-State's going to pull the upset. You can go there. But if they don't, do they hold Baylor under 50?
I think they do, but I still think they lose.
I think they hold them under 50 also. I don't know why. I just feel like they do.
Baylor really hasn't played anybody worth their salt, so I think that they hold them under 50 for sure.
I think K-State will use Daniel Sams, and they will have a good running game.
They will try to control that football.
That will keep Baylor off the field better than anybody has so far this year.
As long as they don't turn around and the defense doesn't let them score in like 5 plays.
Can we play one more from Ryan Succop? I want to hear about Raider Week. It is Raider Week. You're a Raider hater. I'm a Raider hater. No one likes the Raiders around here except for For some reason, people that live in Kansas City that are Raiders fans don't understand that. But Ryan Succop tells us about Raider Week.
Yeah, and I think anytime that a team is playing well, and I think Oakland's playing well, that makes the rivalry even better. When the two teams are good, that's going to really intensify the rivalry. We're fired up, man. I cannot wait to see Arrowhead on Sunday. Obviously, we're going to try to break the crowd noise record, and our fans are fired up. And I mean, this is what football in Kansas City is all about.
Is Sebastian Janikowski your bitter rival?
Well, Janikowski's actually a friend of mine. He's a good guy. I mean, I really like that. We actually got to play golf together this summer out in the Lake Tahoe tournament and got to kind of spend some time together, really get to know each other. And he's a great kicker. I mean, he really is. I think it's the impact that he's had for as long as he's done it is really impressive. He's an unbelievable talent, a great guy, and hopefully we'll wind up on top this weekend.
He is
Seabass.
Unbelievable.
And no one parties like Sebastian Janikowski.
Hey, how many guys like to roofie themselves?
Wow.
What a player.
Frank?
He's been known to...
Can you answer that question?
No, I'm going to leave that one all to Nate.
He's been known to intentionally roofie himself.
There you go. Human interest story.
That'd be good. Let's get off this one.
Except for the people on 38 The Spot might not after witnessing yesterday firsthand.
Oh, boy.
Over the last 45 years, a gentleman by the name of Edward Smith...
Fictitious.
Says he's bedded nearly 1,000 lovers.
Okay, that's a lot.
But only one has been a person.
Yes, sir.
Boy.
The rest have been cars. The 62-year-old...
I'm not sure I follow this.
Well, let me lead you down that path.
I'm not sure we want to be led down that path.
The 62-year-old man from Yelm, Washington...
Where?
Is sexually attracted to cars and other machines.
Oh, boy.
We're not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
Is not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. His unusual conquests have included Mustangs, Jaguars, and even a helicopter. You got to watch out with those blades, don't you?
That sounds dangerous.
He said, some guys look at the boobs and rears of beautiful women. I like to look at the front and rears on beautiful cars. But I'll tell you
Making this up. That doesn't mean anything.
What exactly does he? Now, how exactly does he score with these cars?
Oh boy! He remembers first cuddling and kissing with a James Bond style Aston Martin as a youngster.
Yes.
Before finally, his first time was with a neighbor's Volkswagen Beetle. He said his days.
He lost his V card to a Volkswagen Beetle.
His days of joyriding are now over. Because he settled on a Volkswagen Beetle. As you can see,
the first one.
Here's a lover's picture. Could you possibly zoom in on this? Look how proud he is of his.
You always go back to the first one, right?
So the question is, Frank.
No.
Hypothetical. You're in a dry spell. It's been, I don't know, a month, whatever. You're in a used car lot. No one's around. If you had to sleep with the car, what kind of car would it be?
Yeah, I'd sleep in the back seat.
You have to answer what kind of car.
This.
If you would make sweet love to a car, we got a break. It's a hard break. TV, answer it.
58 Cadillac.
A 58 Cadillac would be Frank Boal's romantic conquest. Back after this on, I think we'll be back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB and 38 The Spot.
You're listening to the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
I'd like to set up a meeting between your father and the Tic Tac.
Arthur Spooner. That's me.
Doug and Carrie insult Arthur.
It just kept going on and on. It was like being trapped in the car with a demented old circus monkey.
Now Dad's dining solo.
Oh, he's really mad at us.
Prefer to eat out here with the other demented circus monkey.
Next, King of Queens.
Watch today at 5 on 38 The Spot for comedy.
Now that I have Assurance, I can talk and text with no worries.
Introducing free talk and text from Assurance Wireless in your area. It's the best value in calling plans among major Lifeline assistance programs. Assurance Wireless, a Lifeline assistance program, offers eligible households a free phone, 250 free voice minutes, and 250 free texts each month. You'll get nationwide coverage in these calling features. You may qualify if you're on Medicaid, food stamps, or certain other public assistance programs.
Visit AssuranceWireless.com or call 1-800-833-8333.
Shield of Kansas City Health Insurance is available for everyone. Call 800-270-5872 or go to bluekc.com on your mobile. Getting coverage may be more affordable than you think. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Live fearless.
Family Guy presents Rules for Getting Along with Mother.
Mom! Ma! Mama! Mommy!
Show affection.
Thanks, Mom. I love you.
You too, honey.
Be supportive.
You're my favorite mistake.
You see, Meg? I'm the favorite.
And tell her how you feel.
Mom! Mommy! Ma!
What?
Hi.
Family Guy. It's a mother load of laughs. Viewer discretion advised.
Watch weeknights at 6 and 11 on 38 The Spot.
Hit the books with The Simpsons.
If you have to guess, guess B. Not every question.
Cram for English.
What's a game?
Brush up on history.
$1 bill guy? $5 bill guy?
Do the math.
What kind of pencil do we take again?
Number 2. Take a number 2. It's a crash course every weekday.
If there's one thing I don't like being taught, it's a lesson.
On The Simpsons.
Watch weeknights at 6:30 on 38 The Spot.
Storm Shield versus Weather Radio. Both keep you safe, but only one has radar, school closings, and live video stream from Kansas City's weather leader. Plus, there's this. 41 Action Weather Storm Shield for iPhone and Android. Download at kshb.com/mobile.
The day is never long enough, and there's too much to do. House calls, gotta look good. Hey, wait, slow down. Watch Cozy TV. It's the easiest decision you'll make all day.
Whether it's up high,
Phone 5. What's that? Cell 5. Nice.
or down low,
High 5. We're at a wake. Solemn low 5.
put your hands in the air for these 5 friends.
Give me multiple high fives.
Arthritis 5. Relapse 5. Wordplay 5. Freeze frame high 5. A high 5 doesn't even cut it. High 6. Up top.
On How I Met Your Mother.
Worth it.
Watch weeknights starting at 10 on 38 The Spot. Unrighteous Decade. 2 tripped out parents.
Greg, do you think I'm smart?
Oh, is that what we're going to do today? We're going to fight?
6 far out friends. 1 million groovy laughs.
That's just good TV.
Watch That 70s Show. Weeknights at 8 and 8:30 on 38 The Spot.
Welcome back to the show. This is the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB and 38 The Spot. I'd like to invite you out to my Fight Watch party to see my favorite fighter, Juan Manuel Marquez, take on Timothy Bradley at the 810 Zone in Lee Summit. You can watch at the 810 Zone at Harris as well, but if you come out to the 810 Zone in Lee Summit and during the fight you ask for the Stephen St. John Knockout Special, not only will you get punched in the face, but you can get nachos and or wings for half price. And while I'm there, you can donate up to $10 off your bill to First Downs for Down Syndrome.
Oh, that's great.
You know, and say,
That's
hey,
awesome.
I want to donate $10. It comes off your bill. You're still paying it anyway,
Good
but it goes
deal.
to a great cause.
Sure.
And you get a chance to win. We're going to raffle off $50 gift, 2 $50 gift cards
nice
to
deal.
get your deal taken care of, get your tab taken care of. But watch Juan Manuel Marquez hopefully defeat Timothy Bradley with me at the Lee Summit 810 Zone.
There you go.
Tomorrow night. Let's say hello to Gary Lezak. Gary Lezak, I don't know if you heard the human interest story, but I'd like to point your attention to the television screen. We'll show you a picture. Frank said I was lying about the story. A very happy gentleman, Edward Smith from Yelm, Washington, to each his own. He loves cars. He
I mean, when he says he loves cars, he really loves cars.
Relations with cars, and now he's in a long-term relationship with a Volkswagen Beetle. And so
He is definitely in love with that car.
look how pleased he is to be with it.
No, he says life is a highway. I want to ride it all night long.
Wow. Nate.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow.
Rubbing is racing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I can't believe, it's funny. I'm watching you guys. Oh, no. I'm seeing it.
You know, and the other, for some, he'll only drive a stick shift, which I don't.
4 on the floor. He
automatics
says.
seem to be so much more convenient.
Hey, Lezak, give us the weather and get us out of this, will you?
No.
Hey, just one note. Frank sitting there. It's funny. I see him from the back on this one shot, and he's got this laugh. His whole back moves. Like this back move that Frank has.
You got to laugh every day, Gary. Every
Yeah, just wait till
single
listen or lose, ladies and
day.
gentlemen.
Both of you.
Goodness.
Gary Lezak, Frank Boal, give me the score of the Chiefs Raiders this Sunday.
We're going to be great weather for Sunday. I'm predicting a Chiefs win. I think it's going to be a real close game. I really do. I think, 20, 21-17, something like that. So go Chiefs. We'll see what happens. The weather's looking fantastic. A high temperature of around 67 or 68 degrees on Sunday. Today, 81 degrees.
Wow.
And,
nice.
My goodness, it is Friday morning. I'm listening to the Border Patrol. I'm watching the Border Patrol on 38 The Spot. I can't believe this is going on. I'll be in the studio in a couple weeks, guys, I promise. Right now, here is Ryan Wiebe.
Thanks, Gary. In a time where the housing market seems to change more often than the weather, you can always count on First Mortgage Solutions to find the best mortgage with the lowest rates and fees in the city. Give the team at First Mortgage Solutions a call at 816-778-7000 or go online to firstmortgagekc.com.
Score of the Chiefs Raiders right now.
27-24, Kansas City.
Thank you very much. And remember,
You're more than welcome.
For the people watching on 38 The Spot, go Chiefs, go Mizzou. We'll be back with you on Monday. And on Sports Radio 810 WHB, we're going to keep on going, whether you want us to or not. And when we come back, Frank's going to show you something he's never shown on TV before. After this, on 38 The Spot on WHB.
You're listening to the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
On the next How I Met Your Mother.
You are in the heart of bachelor country.
Barney gives Lily a tour of his bachelor pad.
We say bienvenue to the bathroom. What? Only one towel? What? No hairdryer? You know where I keep that stuff? Your place. Beat it. And the coup de grace. Patent pending.
Now, will she wear out her welcome? Next, How I Met Your Mother.
Watch tonight at 10 on 38 The Spot for comedy.
You can start a career in healthcare in just 9 short months.
Seriously? Just 9 months?
I'd love working in health.